Just below my Amazon links, I've included timestamps. So if you want to skip ahead in this video, or you just want to revisit a chapter, using my timestamps is the easiest way to do it. They made two different versions of the pull starter for the Troy-Bilt TB110 mowers. In this version, I'm going to completely disassemble the pull starter for what I call the older version and then reassemble it. And all my Amazon affiliate links down below are for this older version. If, when you remove your blower housing and your flywheel cup looks like this, that's what this video is about. If, when you remove that, you have a flywheel cup like this, where it slopes up and down here, instead of both sides going straight up and down, that is what I call for the newer version. I've done a video where I completely take apart and reassemble the pull starter for the newer version. And if you click on the info card that just appeared up above, it'll take you to that video. So let's go inside and get started. Inside here is a spring like this that's all rusty and stuff, and I cut myself on it. If you look real close, a couple days ago I cut it here by sliding it up along it like you can get a paper burn. So you might want to wear gloves. Just be real careful when you're dealing with this spring. Also, this is wound up really tight, and when you go to take it apart, something might fly out, so I suggest wearing safety glasses as well. We're going to take this spacer out first. I have a spare one here to show you what's going on. This little piece that sticks out right here, it goes up under this on the right side, and there's 4 of them. One here, 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 and here. So they all go under the right side. One there, one there, one right here, and one right there. To do it, it's real simple. All you have to do is pull forward on the first one. Second one, you pull to the side. The third one comes out easy, and the fourth. So the spacer is really easy to get out. We're going to remove the pull starter from this blower housing, and believe me, it is a lot harder than removing that spacer. If I had my way, I would have 6 butter knives, but unfortunately I've only got 3, so I have to improvise. So remember, the one on the right side is where the spacer went under, so it went under here, it went under here, it went under here, and it went under here. So I've learned that's where you want to start prying first. And because I've only got 3 butter knives, I'll start with a screwdriver, but I find butter knives are a lot better. And I'll pry him out with the screwdriver, take a butter knife over here and finish it, and then hold it with a butter knife like that. Then I do the same thing on this one, and I've found until you get 3 of them out, you will not be able to pull this starter out. So we got to pry right there, and while I hold that there, take one of these butter knives and see if I can't get it going for the other. Now I do find when you get one out, if you can push him up, do so. But until you get 3 of these out, it will not come out easily. So you have to get 1 more. So we'll go over here. I'll leave this guy up inside here. I've found if you don't, when you're working on this one will clip back in. Remember, I'm starting on the right side. Right here. right there. Now once you get 3 of these, then I find you can push him up, and now he'll come out. Like that there. And this 4th one down here, he just comes right out. So, like I say, that's really hard, and if you can, get 6 butter knives, if not 7 or 8. We're going to now take the rope out so that we can let all this spring tension get out of it before we take it apart. Now I took and used a hole punch and just put a sticker here, and I suggest you do the same thing. You'll find when you go to put it back together, it makes things a lot easier. So now what we have to do is we have to take this rope and pull it all the way around. I'm holding it each time as I pull it. So I pull it, and then I hold it. I pull it, and then I hold it. I pull it. See, now we're at the end, meaning this is straight with that there. Then you can take a butter knife, something, but I pull it a little bit past it, put it in here, and it's a matter of luck getting it aligned just right. See there, I don't have it. It's kind of going there a little bit, so I have to let it go a little more. Probably right there is good. Now we have to grab this rope right here, pull him up. Then I find it easiest to just cut him. Here, you do lose a little bit of rope. After that, to get rid of that frame, just take a torch. You want to get rid of all that fraying on the rope. Then take a wet paper towel, go like this. Now you pull that right out. Now at this point, if you pull this out, this thing will just go zip and wind itself right up. So you have to hold this here while you pull it out, and then let it slowly go in. Don't let it just snap itself in. I broke one doing that. Ah, man, that hurt my fingers. See, that cut that there too. So like I say, be careful. As you can see by my war wound, how much energy is actually stored in that spring. That's why we had to take that rope out first to get rid of that energy. And when you cut the rope, that's about how much you lose. Now we're going to start taking it apart. We'll start with this C-clip right here. Make sure he doesn't spring away. Then this here will come up right there. And you can see there's a little clip that goes right here. If you look real close, see that clip right there? Then these arms, they come out. One right there, and one right there. And you're supposed to have a post. If you look, there's a post here, and there's a spring that if you look close, he's inside here when he stays inside. When he doesn't stay inside, it goes on that post right here. So this spring goes inside there. So now this here comes up. And there's that spring all wound up inside. To get him out, all we have to do is push this away. And then when I push him out, he's going to spring all apart. This is when you can get cut because it's very slick. So then he comes out. So you're supposed to have 2 of these and 2 springs, this clip, and then this clip that goes inside here. And to get him out, all you do is push up right here, and he comes right out. And of course, to put him on, he just slides on. I thought there might be a groove in there, but I don't see one. So he just slides back on. First, I want to point out, let's get this out of the way. See this right here? This is the slot that the spring's going to go in, and we're going to take that spring and wrap it around. But before I do that, I'm putting this white piece of paper down because there's a bunch of oil on it, and I don't want to ruin my blue board down below. This right here is going to go in that slot, but it goes in this direction, meaning we're going to wind it in counterclockwise, not clockwise. And you might want to wear gloves on this because, as you can see, I've been cut more than once by this here. So now we got to take this and just start winding her. Fortunately, I find it usually gets easier as you go in further. On my truck tailgate, tools were always in the way. This spring kept catching on things. This poster board makes things so much easier. Great tip, use something like this poster board or a big piece of cardboard. And it's easy to cut yourself, so you might wear gloves or just be extra careful is all I can tell you. So we keep going around. Like I say, to me it gets easier as I got in there further, especially the last little bit. So that's how he's wound in. But then we have to take this and push him over like that. Make sure he's down. So that's what he should look like right in here when you're finished. This is an old spring, but just to show you, it's going to end up wrapping around this little piece down here. So I'm using it, meaning this old one, just to let you know that's what goes around that post. If you've got a really old starter and it's worn down, I've found you can take a cotton swab and cut him here and here, and then place it here and use it, meaning you're going to take that and flipping this way and use this part of the cotton swab to guide this down inside there. But that's only if yours is really old and worn. I found with a brand new one, which is what this was, I couldn't even get a little piece of wire like this to help guide it down. What you have to do, you've got to take and bend this, and I want you to take a good look here. I'm kind of deliberately showing different directions to where that this is kind of in the inside and touching. If it's like this, it's not going to work. If it's like this too far, it's not going to work. Or if it's over there, I just want you to get a good look here. It's just barely going on the inside there. And then what it's going to do, it's going to feed down. You got to go down where that white stick was. Put him down, and then if it's right, you'll turn this way, and when you let go, the spring will bring it back. If you missed it, it'll just spin all the way around and won't have any friction to it. I'm using tweezers with this just so you can see what's happening. Put the spring on this post right here. Put the other spring on this post right here. Like I say, it can be done by hand, but I figured with tweezers you get a better view of what's actually taking place. And it doesn't matter which way that spring goes, meaning there's no right or wrong. Same with these. It's almost impossible, it is impossible, to basically put these in wrong. And it doesn't matter whether I put this one here or this one here. So it goes like this. And the way you'll know when you do it fits there perfectly, meaning you can tell that's aligned just perfect. Same with this one here. He just goes right on there, like that there. Remember, make sure your little metal ring is here. And if you notice, this has a groove right here and a groove right there, which this little post that sticks up goes inside there, and that'll kind of take care of itself whenever you put this on. So you just take this, try to line up those the best you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect. It'll kind of take care of itself. Push that down. Now you can check it right now by doing this. See how that comes out? Meaning when you got it right, it'll slide over like that and come out. So then we just have to push down on this and push this clip on. Remember, this clip is spring loaded, so you got to be careful it doesn't go slipping off. See how those arms fly out? If you notice, you don't have to spin that fast to make the arms fly out. I like to prepare the rope first before we wind things up, because it's going to go right through here, meaning right up into this hole, right up in here. See the red coming up through there, right there? But that's a lot harder than you think, because that hole is just barely bigger than the diameter of this rope. Sometimes even when you melt this, you'll have too big of a melt on it and it won't go through. So I find the easiest way to deal with it is just take a cotton swab, cut him there, take some Scotch tape, and I find Scotch tape works way better than electrical tape for this. Cut it here. Doesn't have to be perfect, but something about that long. Then I like to cut it the long way, like this. Then what I do, I put it on the rope right here, take that cotton swab, put him right here, tape it together so that it's all one piece, but you want to make sure you don't have something sticking out like this. See how the tape isn't wrapped all the way around? You want to make sure that it's wrapped good and tight so that when we go up in there, we can take this and put him up in that hole and then take a pair of pliers and pull him on up. So I do that first. Then I wind this guy up. Remember, we're going to wind him counterclockwise. Don't do this direction, because you might pull that thing off if you go the wrong direction and have to take things apart and put it all back together. So now, usually it's about 8 times around, but we'll see on a brand new one like this. So there's one. I'm just watching this dot here. 1, 2. It gets harder as we do it. 3, and it's particularly hard because I got to stay out of the camera. So that's 3. Remember, if I let this go, this thing would just go zip right up. There's 4, 5, 6, and it gets harder as you go along. That's 6. That's 7. This is 8. Now if I try to go one more time, let's see what happens. Okay, on this one I'm able to go 9. Let's see what happens if I try for 10. I'm not going to go beyond 10. It's really getting stiff now. Once you do that, you have to go beyond the point there. Put something in there that'll stop it. Okay, I got to try this. See, now right now I have it about there. It's going to be a little bit hard getting it in there, but I think I'll be able to do it. What I don't want to do is accidentally push down on this and have that knife come out. So then I grab it here. Pull him on up. Take this out. Now, you only really need one knot. They had two whenever I bought this brand new, but I'm just going to put one knot in there. Then put him in right here. Now what I'm going to do, I'm holding the rope and I'm going to pull this out and let it start winding itself in slowly. When you've done everything right, you should be able to pull on the rope and it goes counterclockwise. Those arms should come out like that. The rope handle does line up with this, but it goes up underneath like this. It doesn't go through it. These little screw holes right here, they line up with this indentation on these two. So now we take it and we just push down. Do the same thing over here and it snaps right in. Remember, we have this spacer and the spacer goes in this away, and again there's 4 of these, and remember they went on the right side of these here, so we just take it, push him in there, push him in there, push that guy in. We got one more over here, he goes in. Below are my Amazon affiliate links. When possible, I use Amazon First Choice links. Those are prime items shipped directly by Amazon, so you usually get faster shipping and easier returns. To take off and put on your flywheel cup, click on the card on the bottom left. To see the pull starter taken apart on the newer version, click the card on the bottom right. To see a playlist on all my videos on the TB110, click the card on the top. This is Ron from Fixing Stuff in Black and White, signing off.